Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with a review of Kibaranger from Gosei Sentai Dairanger, or also known as the MMPR White Ranger. This figure got two releases. You got the Japanese release and the American release. They are the exact same figure, the only difference being this one comes with this Kibaranger part here, and you get a different box depending on which version you got, and he was an exclusive for Japan. Anyway, we'll start this off like typical, I think more like usual would be a better way to say that, with the box. A pretty neat packaging here for Kibaranger. You get kind of a closed box, just like Armtrana Ranger and Terra Ranger, where they kind of remind me of those exclusive event boxes. I got a picture of Kibaranger on the front. It says his name. You get the logo, some pictures of him on the side here, and then on the back, you know, it shows some poses you can get him in. So, pretty neat little box. The MMPR one just has like MMPR stuff on it. He really does not come with a lot at all. He's only got two sets of hands. The closed fists, which are the standard, which are on him when you get him, which I've already swapped out, and then the hands I have on him, which is one holding Saba and the other just this kind of posed hand. You do get Saba, obviously, and then you get two different sword pieces. You have like the retracted one right here, which I'll show how to switch out in a moment, and then the one that's longer, which is on it, and then this little Kibaranger chest piece, which you swap out for like the medallion on the front of his chest, which I'll show momentarily as well. So let me just quickly pull Saba out of here. Even though it's a Japanese version, I tend to lean towards the American names because they're more familiar, even though I have seen Dairanger. But so here's Saba. Very nicely detailed, like usual with these weapons. They did a pretty good job on it. You can even see his face details on there, so pretty nice as per usual. Like I said, you can switch these out depending on what you want to do. It's really not that big of a deal. Right there, but I just keep the long one in. That's what she said. Alright, so taking a look at the figure itself, aesthetically, it does look quite nice. You saw it when the review started. It looks pretty nice just standing there. The helmet is very well done, I think. It's more nicely proportioned than Ryoranger's was, mainly because Kibaranger's helmet is a little bit larger. So the fat head makes more sense than Ryoranger's, because Ryoranger's got a skinny helmet in the show, but then he had a fat helmet in the figure. So his helmet proportions look a lot better. And overall, just looking at him, he does look like a good figure. The helmet looks good, the armor looks good, the gold paint's nice, the black matte finish here is nice, it plays off of each other well. The white is really nicely done. It's kind of got almost a bit of a shine to it, kind of like it does when you see it on the show. If you watch the show, you can see that the white cloth almost has a sort of shine quality to it, and I think they got that very nicely here. And the gold paint here all looks nice. Overall, just like standing there, it does look like a nice figure. However, I do have quite a bit of problems with it once you get into it. It's using the same Dairanger mold. And the first problem I run into here is the shoulder pads go up, which usually is a normal thing, but for this, it really bothers me. This is supposed to be a solid armor piece, and it really bothers me that these go up. They tried to do it, I guess, to give it more articulation range, but see, if you hold it down, it really wouldn't hinder his articulation that much. I mean, he could raise his hands a little higher, but I would have been fine with it being normal, mainly because if I want to get him in a cool pose now, his armor's looking like this. When I have it out, and that just doesn't look right, because that's not how it would happen on the show, so I really don't agree with that decision. I think it was kind of dumb. But anyway, articulation-wise, a pretty standard figure art articulation. If you've seen figure arts, you've seen pretty much all of the articulation. Like I said, he's using the Dairanger mold. You got a 360 ball joint here, swiveling, double elbow joint here, swiveling at the fists. Got a 360 ball joint on his leg, you can swivel, double knee joint here. His foot's on a nice ball joint, so you get a solid range of motion here. Your little toe articulation joint. His waist does move. His chest does have a joint under there, but you can't really use it because of the solid chest piece. And then, of course, you got your 360 neck and head articulation. So, great articulation as usual with Figuarts. But unfortunately, I wasn't too big of a fan of the Dairanger mold. In my Ryoranger review, I mainly pointed out the shoulders, which you can see right here, which really stuck out as kind of large, which was more of a big deal for Ryoranger because he doesn't have an armor pad to to hide it, so he can hide that quite well. Other than that, the mold was okay, but it just doesn't feel as solid as other Sentai molds, like the Dairanger ones, or like the Jetman ones, or the Gokaigers. It actually feels kind of loose. His legs feel really loose. He just doesn't feel as high a quality of figure. And like I said, the shoulder pad things really bother me, which is really disappointing because I really wanted to like this figure because I love the suit design. Like it looks good, like just standing there, it looks like a good figure. Aesthetically, it's just when you're messing around with it and get down to the posing, there's just quite a bit of problems for me with it. Also, he doesn't come with a lot of fists. Sometimes that's not an issue, but here, I think he could have used a few more. I mean, 2 different sets, one of them being the default, that's kind of annoying, especially for an exclusive, so I definitely think he could have benefited from some more fists. Like I said, you can switch out the little chest piece here. This might take a second. You can switch out a symbol for the Kibaranger one from, Kibaranger. Which, with these figures that, appeared in it, it is a neat little thing, so you can do that. I'm probably not going to keep it that way, obviously, but it's a neat little bonus to have. And like I said, I don't think the American one comes with it. I haven't really paid much attention to that. But anyhow, so yeah, it's really difficult because, like I said, I really wanted to like this figure. And, with the MMPR and Dairanger figure arts that come from Dairanger, they've done a really good job on them. They're probably some of the best Sentai figure arts out there. And then you have this guy, which is essentially releasing in the same series of figures for the American version, and he just doesn't feel as high quality. Like I said, sure, he looks good. He's a good-looking figure. The paint looks good. The proportions on him all look good because his helmet is more normal. But it's just the mold isn't the best for me, and I hate that the shoulders do this. He's still probably pretty much the best figure out there for Kibaranger. I mean, I dug the Chaser figure for the White Ranger. And if you're a huge fan of Tommy or Kibaranger, the little kid, I almost said Kibaranger, the little kid Kibaranger, then I don't think you'll be that upsetting. But I mean, I'm probably more difficult on it than most people, or more hard on it than most people. But I don't think you'll be that disappointed if you pick it out. It's still a really nice figure to have on display, and it looks good with the other MMPR figures, or I guess with Ranger. So I don't think you'll be that disappointed if you get it. It's just overall, I'm just kind of disappointed in it, just because so many of the Sentai figures are a lot higher quality in terms of everything. So, and I just don't agree with some of the choices they made. But it's still a solid, okay figure. Like, it still looks good. So anyway, that's about it. Until next time, make sure you check out the Crazy Podcast at WritersRangersandRambles.com. Until next time, Dawson Ryder signing out.